Hello, I'm the Pageant Nerd. Welcome to part 2 of my updated series on the longest placement streaks at Miss Universe. In part 1, I updated the longest active streaks, with the Philippines and USA extending further into double-digit territory, and Brazil stopping on 10. This second episode takes a look at the all-time records, with a fresh and nerdy look at the countries that have strung together the most impressive records in the history of Miss Universe. It's a whole new look at this ever-popular topic, so buckle up and enjoy the ride. Here we go. In its first 70 years of existence, Miss Universe placement streaks of 5 or more were recorded a total of 20 times by 13 different countries. Here are the single-digit streaks. That leaves 8 instances of 10 in a row or more, and that's where we begin our in-depth look. Fittingly, our first double-digit streak today was the first one ever compiled. From the inaugural Miss Universe in 1952, Germany made the cut each year all the way through 1961, the cherry on top being Marlene Schmidt's title that year, her country's sole Miss Universe crown so far. In the next 60 years, Germany only placed another 11 times, and not since 2002. In 2020, they missed the pageant altogether due to COVID-19, leaving Canada and France as the only 2 nations to have competed in all 70 editions of Miss Universe, up to and including 2021. As you saw in part 1, Brazil recently completed its own streak of 10 consecutive placements, bookended by a second runner-up in 2011 and a first runner-up in 2020. In between, there are a pair of fourth runners-up, a top 10, and 5 other first-cut results. We similarly have 2 countries with 11 in a row, starting with India's incredible run from 1992 to 2002, which included their first 2 titles, thanks to Sushmita Sen in 1994 and Lara Dutta in 2000. It also included a first runner-up in 1995, second runner-up in 1992, fourth runner-up in 2001, top 6 in 1993, and 5 other top 10s. I'd previously said this was India's first golden age at Miss Universe, and indeed in alpha pageantry, having also picked up 4 Miss World crowns in that stretch. And it appears its second golden age is well underway. Despite some minor placements in the 2000s and 2010s, a full 19 years elapsed between Miss Universe top 5 finishes and 21 between crowns, not to mention their recent Miss World resurgence. As I covered in the active streaks video, the Stars and Stripes matched India's feat of 11 in a row after Miss Universe 2021, a stretch that included a record-extending 8th crown and 2 more top 3 finishes. But unlike India, which reached the top 10 in each of those placements, the USA benefited from the larger semi-final groupings more recently, with 3 of the 11 going no further than the first cut. The longest active streak is next, with the even dozen by the Philippines, which I covered in more detail in episode 1. Total of 8 top 6 finishes, including 2 crowns and another first runner-up. And my unofficial title of Miss Universe Nation of the Decade. Upon further investigation, I saw some interesting parallels between the Filipino and Indian streaks. Both of them were preceded by their longest run of non-placements, 10 for the Philippines and 14 for India, albeit not immediately before their 11 in a row began. Both streaks contained 2 titles, a first runner-up and a fourth runner-up. And there's the rest. The 2 Philippine titles in the 2010s, their third and fourth all-time, were achieved in a somewhat similar fashion to the first and second, separated by just a handful of years. And of course, the pressure is on the newly crowned Miss Universe Philippines to keep that streak alive and edge ever closer to the all-time record. On to the top 3, and the USA's second appearance in the double-digit club, but not their last. Their run of 18 in a row between 1958 and 1975 contained 2 crowns, by Linda Bement in 1960 and Sylvia Hitchcock in 1967, plus another 2 first runners-up, 3 second runners-up, and 3 other top 5s. In 1976, Barbara Peterson had the unfortunate distinction of being the first Miss USA to officially compete in Miss Universe and not place. I say officially because newly crowned Miss USA 1957, Leona Gage was disqualified from Miss Universe after admitting to being a twice-married mother of 2 in contravention of pageant rules. Gage had, however, already competed in the Miss Universe prelims and been announced as one of the top 15 semi-finalists ahead of finals night, as was the practice in the pageant's early days. So, had that scandalous moment not occurred and Gage maintained her placement at Miss Universe, regardless of her final result, the USA would have had 24 consecutive placements from 1952 to 1975, which would be the all-time record. But now moving on to the second longest streak. In the runner-up position on the list is South American superpower Venezuela. After a sandwich of victories in 1979 and 81, their first ever, Venezuela went on a placement rampage from 1983, and the era of Osmel Sosa's undeniable influence as national director came to bear. 21 straight placements, including crowns by Barbara Palacios Tede in 1986 and Alicia Machado in 1996, first runners-up in 1997, 98, 2000 and 2003, 3 more as second runner-up, and another 5 top 5 finishes. Just incredible. While Ana Karina Áñez's shocking non-placement in 2004 ended Venezuela's streak as the second longest, the quality of results in that 21-year stretch is arguably the best in history. I'll reveal more on that in the third and final episode of this series. But without further ado, here's Miss Universe's all-time placement streak. As you can see here, the all-time longest streak belongs to the USA. From 1977 to 1998, 22 consecutive placements, including 3 titles: Sean Weatherly in 1980, Chelsea Smith in 1995, and Brooke Lee in 1997. Like Venezuela's streak, it also included 4 first runners-up: Judy Anderson in 1978, Julie Hayek in 1983, Christy Fichtner in 1986, and Carol Gist in 1990. 15 top 6 placements or better in the run of 22. Miss USA Kimberly Pressler's non-placement at Miss Universe 1999 in Trinidad and Tobago meant the all-time record was locked in at 22. Just 5 years later, Venezuela had a chance to equal that record, but as you just saw, they fell 1 short. While there were only 2 official USA non-placements in the first 48 editions of Miss Universe, the next 2 took only 11 years. Shauntae Hinton in 2002 and Rima Fakih in 2010, which is oddly similar to Venezuela's 21 in a row, snapped in 2004 and non-placements shortly thereafter in 2006 and 2010. As you just saw, the USA has officially gone unplaced at Miss Universe just 4 times, and its most recent time, by Rima Fakih in Las Vegas in 2010, was the only one that occurred on US soil. The others were in Hong Kong, Trinidad and Tobago, and Puerto Rico. By further comparison, the USA is ahead of fellow Miss Universe titan Venezuela by 1, not only in best ever placement streaks, but also in titles won, 8 to 7. The USA had the benefit of host nation status in 6 of its 8 title runs, and 9 of its record 22 placements in a row. Venezuela, on the other hand, compiled its incredible record on foreign soil 100% of the time, having never hosted a Miss Universe pageant. But that leads me to deeper exploration of different streaks and the quality of those runs. The varied number of semi-finalists over the years means it's not necessarily an even playing field, simply comparing placement streaks alone. What about streaks of a particular, specific quantity of contestants remaining, like top 10, top 5, etc.? We'll take a look at those, plus some bonus fun facts, in the third and final episode in my series of the longest placement streaks at Miss Universe. If you enjoyed this clip, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel if you haven't already. I'll be back soon with that video, but in the meantime, it's goodbye from me, the Pageant Nerd.